Hey Raz, how's it going? Hey customizer. Busy week. Very muggy out. Didn't get done what I wanted to get done, but once things kind of cool out a bit, I can start priming stuff in the garage again. Hopefully your week was good. Yeah, I'll be bugging you next week, Raz. Probably start printing out stuff for Lola. We gotta get a basketball done and figure out what I'm gonna do underneath her foot. Yeah, I sent somebody your way, I think, that wanted a printout. I don't know, did they contact you? Why, customizer, what didn't you get done this week? Cool, Raz. Glad it worked out. Sorry, just trying to get myself in order. Yeah, clay face, I can imagine there's a ton of detail. Take a little bit at a time, you know. Hey Terrell, just plugging away. Just super muggy week. I don't know about I know it's probably the hottest day of the summer right now. You know, like the week, and it's been so muggy here that I couldn't even stay in the garage for more like than a half hour without just pouring sweat, and I couldn't even prime anything, so didn't get too much done this week. It's alright though. I figure get a bunch of other stuff around the house done, clean up a little bit, start getting pulled out a couple items to start priming up, so once the weather breaks a bit I can start doing that. I'll explain what I did with 7 of 9. Got a little bit of work done with her to kind of plan stuff out. So I just want to mix this right now. Alright, so what I did, I cut out a newer piece of this, a lot longer, notched up there, drilled my hole through here. So this piece is going to go right here, but the only problem though is I have to lift it up a little higher. So let's make sure I'm in frame. So I toyed with the chair a bit. What I did was I added a rod underneath here this week. I cleaned up some of this and I tweaked a little bit around her area around here because it wasn't flush. So if we put her in the chair now, it works out pretty good. So I had just been sanding down and I drumbled out this a bit. So what I had to do was I filled this in with a little bit of a hollow brass rod, I didn't have anything that would fit this. So basically she goes in there pretty well now, and I just basically sanded this down and it made it look like she's kind of squeezing the area and the cushion's kind of like squeezing out a bit, you know. A little bit more tweaking, but I think that looks pretty good as far as that goes. Hey, what's up, Raccoon? So now that the rod's in here and I drummed the hole, what I came up with is if we put her in the base like so, her foot, this foot over here hits this, but this foot kind of goes over the edge a bit. Now if I try to put her foot up top here, what happens is this part raises really high. It's kind of hard to see. So if we put her foot there and we lift this up, there's such a huge gap underneath that piece. So I figured what I'm going to do is I'll take some of this A's and we'll lift this up just a little bit. Not too high, just a little bit more. So this way, this foot sort of will hang off the edge a bit, like just a little bit. You know, just a little bit there, but not really too much, you know. And this foot will touch this. That's kind of what I got so far. And then I figured this was the best position on the base. If we kind of go back a little bit. This way, what I could do is once that's on the base, I can actually cut this piece off over here. And we can put like a console over here or something. Or even if I turn her a bit, you know, we could put the console behind her. In a sense, like right here. I'm thinking that's the best way of doing this. Because if I try and put her like that, the chair is gonna like lean. and I don't want the chair to lean. So my plan is take some A's, we'll put it here and here, we'll squeeze this down till I get it to where I want it to be. So there's going to be a gap here, and then once this cures together, I can fill this in with A's and sort of steam it around. And then this way, she'll be sort of like this on the base. You know? Now if I turned it, the problem is her foot wouldn't rest on this piece over here, and it looks like she's just kind of like floating in the air. I kind of want her to be touching this in a way. So it's kind of tricky. But the other problem too is I want the chair to be supported, you know, really, really supported. Because if I don't support this chair, if this chair doesn't connect to this bottom part, if you kind of hit it the wrong way, it could kind of like break and snap, you know. So that's kind of the plan on this, what I came up with. I know it's not perfect and it's not like, you know, set up, but I can only do with what I can with her design. So that's kind of what I'm coming up with right now. So what I'm thinking is we take some of the A's. Now you always got to notch this stuff, because if you just put flat A's, it'll stick, but it won't really like bond. So grab some of this. Terrell, which video are you talking about? Oh, the Supergirl I filled? Yeah, I don't, like the 3D resin that that Elgato resin that you just mentioned, does that, like say if you put a blow dryer to it, does it like warp on you? Like if you hit it with a blow dryer, does it like start to like bend? I'll give you an example. Like the 4K resin from this is the frozen 4K. So if I hit this with a blow dryer and it really get it warm, it doesn't bend. Like it really doesn't even like give me any kind of like bend. And when I say a blow dryer, I'm like just hit it with like a blow dryer for like a good like, you know, 30 seconds or so. Some of the other 3D resins, like if you hit it with a blow dryer for like 10 seconds, you could start bending the fingers like nothing, even if they're solid. So that tells me that if you use that two-part resin, that two-part resin gets really, really hot and it'll warp your item. That's why I say like you have to test your resin before with a blow dryer before you pour in a two-part resin. Because even if your walls are thick, if you can soften this with a blow dryer and warp it, that's two-part resin's going to heat up and warp your item. Yeah, hold on. Let me get my other camera set up. I gotta get it set up anyway. Alright, excuse the mess. See, I don't have any of the 3D resin. Well, no, I don't have any. No. So basically what I'm saying is if you just have a regular blow dryer, just a blow dryer, throw it all the way on hot. You know? And like this far, 30 seconds. I mean, that's enough right there just to test. So like the finger doesn't really bend that much. It's not really, and it's kind of like warm. The other 3D resin that I used for that Cyclops statue that was sent to me, like literally after hitting it with the blow dryer that far, we would be able to bend the fingers. That's how soft that stuff was. But like I said, this 4K stuff, like I've left this hand in the sun when my friend gave it to me on a 90-degree weather day for about a half hour, and when I picked it up it was hot as hell and you still couldn't bend it. So as of right now, I like the 4K frozen stuff because I know I can fill it in. Alright, with that being said, what I'm doing right now is I want to This table is level. This is my airbrush table. So this is it's as level it's going to be with the bubble. So it's pretty level. So what I want to do now is take this piece and sort of squeeze it here for now. See how far we can squeeze it, because I just want to make sure that when I put this on, it looks. So I'm going to fill in these edges. And then we'll start to see if I need to keep pushing it down. So let's see how far. Actually, almost looking perfect. It's actually looking pretty good. But I need to push this up a little bit more. Well, it's looking, let's see, I think I need to pull it up a little bit more. I think it's down too far, because I don't want her other toe hitting the ground. expected. I might have been off on this one. I thought maybe it would have been closer to the base. Maybe I was wrong. Yeah, okay, so that'll be right about there. So let's make sure this is evened out. About even. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave that there for the day. And then once that cures up, I'll take some Aves and I'll put Aves around the bottom of this and sort of kind of create something there. I don't know what yet, you know. And then after that, it's a matter of putting Aves and glue in there and sort of get the chair lined up correctly with her feet. And then once I get her positioned correctly on there, I think her foot's going to sort of touch this little edge here. But I think that's as good as I'm going to get this idea. And then, like I said, after that, we can start worrying about a something over here. I think that'll work. What do you guys think? I think that's the best thing I could come up with her position. So I guess what we'll do is I'll just leave this here and I'll keep checking this every once in a while just to make sure it's not going to be 100% perfect, but at least it should work with the chair. Yeah, once the Aves cures up, it'll cure up pretty good. Next step is I did cut off her hands, so I'm thinking I might have to tweak this hand a little bit more to get this to work here. So, let's see what else we have. Unless I have a different hand. Let's see, where's all the other stuff? I'm gonna go garage and chop this down a bit more. So maybe if I could get her hand underneath a bit more, maybe chop both of this down a bit. I think I can get it to work. I just have to jumble this out in there. So the idea would look like she's really pressing it down and it's squeezing around her fingers. So I think we can get this to work. Gotta keep going back and forth till I can get it where I want it. So I think that could work, right? I think that looks pretty good. Sort of like right about there. And then what we can do is sort of squeeze it, like look like she's kind of squeezing the chair around the hand, and then maybe leave the hand on the chair, maybe. Yeah, so maybe if she sort of, I don't know, I have to play with it. Of course, I got to get her other finger back on there. I could. She has this stuff on her left hand, right? She got the cybernetics on her left hand. Maybe what I could do is I can attach the hand, but I can break these fingers and pull them down a little bit, like the fingers are sort of on the edge, you know. Sort of break it like right here and right here, and bring these two fingers down a little bit. I think that could work. Yeah, I'm thinking keep the hand attached to the chair, so when she comes down, this hand goes over the hand, you know. That looks pretty decent like that. Because as long as I can line it up correctly, where, you know, when you put her into the base, you know. But then again, I'm still debating if I just keep her locked into the base at the whole entire, you know, like I'm done with the project. Because if it becomes too much of a pain to line it up, what I could just do is paint her up separate, and then at the very end just put like some glue here and just glue her right into the base, and then be done with it. I don't know. I gotta see if I can line this up correctly. Then I'll leave the hand on the chair, you know. But I think that would look good. A little tweaking of the fingers. I mean, or if I did a fist. Nah. Yeah, I'm thinking that would probably be the best bet. Because this way, if I can set it up where when you put her on the base, it locks into the hand, I can actually have her hand on the base and sort of sculpt all the stuff onto it, you know? That's what I think we're gonna do. I think that'll work. I mean, she really, in theory, doesn't need to be removable from the base, you know? She can be glued in at the end. So I think I'll have to do a little bit of tweaking when I get a chance. Once I get the chair on the base, we can start working out the hands more. But I'm gonna work on her chest today. That's the best way of doing it. I gotta get some closer pictures of her hand too, so I know where all those cybernetics go. So we're gonna work on her hand. Let me get some pictures. Where are they? Yeah, it's gonna be a little tricky, but we'll get it somehow. Somehow we'll get it. Just gotta open up my 7 and 9 pictures so I can see better the lines. Alright. So I'll make up a little extra A's because we're gonna start doing some stuff to Lola as well. So I don't need that much A's, but enough to start wrapping their shirt. I still got to do her Star Trek symbol too that goes on the shirt. It's another thing I got to get Raz to print out for me. Yeah, that's why I told you I get the red. You should have got it from straight from Aves. They ship fast as hell. When I order from them, it takes like, they put it in a priority box and I get it in like 2 days. And I think Aves just had a 10% off or a $10 off sale or something for Labor Day. Like I said, I'd rather order straight from Aves because I know I get a fresher batch. And honestly, they ship fast. It's not like you're gonna get something in 3 weeks. They get in that priority box and out like the next day. Hey, what's up, Iceman? Just plugging away this week, you know, nothing crazy. All right, so. What's the graphite powder for? Oh, okay. Yeah, I never really used this stuff much. Yeah, the metal chrome is nice, but you can't really seal it though without losing some of its luster. That's true. Yeah, I was just gonna mention that stuff if you ever tried it. And it's also very, very toxic too, so be careful with it. Very, very toxic. Well, you know what it is? There was a couple of guys in the hobby that were airbrushing with it, and then I found out that like it's really, really toxic to breathe in. Like if like you were to carry it, you have to get like insurance to sell it or something. I don't know, something like that. No, I think there's some other stuff in there that's worse than that, from what I was told. You know, but I it's only good for like you said, like say you finish up an item, and you're gonna put it on your shelf and never touch it again. You touch it with that chrome stuff from the marker, and then you just like walk away from it. But even down the line, if you go to touch it again, I think it just comes up. So. make sure. Let's see. That's worth a shot. I am going to roll some of this out. Yeah, chrome sucks. It's all about the base coat. As long as the base is super smooth, and then when you spray it, none of that dust goes everywhere. It's always a pain in the ass. It really is. Does it have to be super shiny chrome metal? Or is that just what you want to do? Well, that works. Like I said, you should look into the AK Interactive Steel. It's a really good paint. Goes on pretty smooth, and it gives you that metal look, but it's not like chromed out, so it gives a little bit more of a steel. Yep, they have a chrome as well. Their chrome is sort of just like Alclad chrome, but the steel is a really good metal for like swords. I like using it a lot on my paint ups. So they do have a chrome, which is sort of, it's basically almost like Alclad. You have to like shake it up. It sort of sets at the bottom. But they have this steel, which I really like the way this goes on stuff. So if you make your item really smooth, and like you're gonna do chrome, but you do this stuff on there, it's sort of like, it goes on really nice where it looks like a steel, but it's not chromed out mirror. Yeah, look into the AK Interactive stuff. They got a couple of cool colors here and there. They're not bad. I haven't gotten all their stuff, so I don't know how a lot of the paints are, but I just got a couple of the metallics. And they're pretty decent. I'm not a fan of the chrome too much. I feel that if I'm going to use that type of chrome, I'm just going to use Alclad. So, I mean, their steel is pretty good. Well, you know, when I first got into the whole painting and I started experimenting and, you know, I started doing metallics and pearls and I started learning how to chrome. After all the work on chrome, and sometimes it just never comes out the way you want it, I'm kind of just sick of it now. Because it's such a pain, and you know what it is you can do the most amazing chrome work, But once you try to seal it, it goes to hell. So, I mean, the only chrome I know that's amazing is those guys, Creation in Chrome, that do that liquefied chrome stuff. That stuff's amazing, but it goes on so thick you lose some detail. Well, if it works for what you're doing, then go for it. Like if I was chroming stuff and I knew it would never leave my house and I wouldn't have to pack it, you could do some really cool shit. But if you're gonna have to pack it or ship it or, you know, move it, that's when you risk just doing all that work for nothing. If you use the aqua clear on alclad chrome and you give it a good coating and let it dry, and if you use the foam packing, you should be fine if it's going to be a fast shipping. If you wrap it with bubble wrap and then it's in a hot box, you will destroy it. It will stick to the bubble wrap. So you need to have some kind of foam or something that's not going to stick to it. But yeah, I've even Spaztec Chrome, like when you clear it with their Spaztec clear stuff, it's still not perfect. So it just, no matter what you do, there's always some kind of an issue. So I'll add the seam here another time. Just kind of keep lining this up. But I like that. I think that kind of comes close to her. So I'm looking at a couple of the pictures from the show online. Just kind of looking. So she does have a couple wrinkles in the here and sort of wrinkles over there I can add. So I'll do the eye. Maybe we could do the eye part now a little bit, since I still need this eaves to kind of toughen up. I'll sand some of this down and buff it up a bit. That's kind of why I went a little deep in the center, just to make sure when I sand it I don't lose this line. Might have to add a little putty up in here, because you kind of lose this little bit of a upper rib cage a little bit. I don't want to put any more eaves in there. I'll mess it up. Let's see. So I forgot who it was. Somebody mentioned in the comments that the rib cage was too pronounced. What do you guys think? Do you think it's too much? I sort of like it the way it is, but do you guys think I should do some more layering of putty in there to flare it out some more? Or do you guys think it looks okay? I think the back looks good, but I wonder what you guys think of the front. And she does have a little bit of broader shoulders, so I'm going to add a little... yeah, I think we can do the eye. Let's get a little bit closer to her face. Now, I'm not going to be 100% perfect on the cybernetics on her face, but I will do what I can. Yeah, in the pictures, you know, she's got a little bit more cloth on it, you know. So they're sort of there, but they're not there. But that's kind of like, you know, I kind of like the way it is, but if I was to add more putty and keep sanding it down, I can sort of take it away, or I could flare it out with a little eaves. But I mean, I don't know, I just want you guys' opinion on it. You know, anyone that watches the video afterwards can leave a comment. Because I can always do it later in the custom too. So this, let me look tricky here. So she sort of has a part that's cut here, and it's sort of comes up and around like this. And we sort of cut like that. And then this piece here sort of comes down. This piece sort of slices down like this. Just trying to get the basic shape first. Just a little bit of a round thing up in here. So this piece, no, I only have links set up if it's a moderator or me. So no links. Only because if I don't have a moderator, I'll get spammed by bots. So this comes up over here. And here this thing sort of comes up over here. Hey, what's up, Jacob? Busy week. Hopefully yours was good. Alright, I'll check it out. Alright, like I said, it's not going to be 100% perfect, so it's kind of my own little style, but yeah, well, she's coming along pretty good. Got the chest going. I asked before in chat, Jacob, I guess I'll ask you why you just showed up. Somebody in one of the comments said that they thought the ribs were sticking out too much, so they suggested to flare it. So I'm just asking an opinion on people. Personally, I like the way it is, but it all depends on if you guys think it should be flared or something. A little bit more. Yeah, they said that they think these are sticking up too much. I personally like it, but what they suggested was to flare it a little bit more. Um, like I guess the back is okay, like here, but so I'm just asking. I'm not saying I'm gonna do it, but I'm just asking people what they think. Yeah, you know, some pictures it looks like her rib cage are really sticking out, and other ones it looks like the outfit's really hiding it and you can hardly see it. I mean, I personally like the way it's kind of sticking, but I mean, I'm just asking opinions, seeing like what you guys think. If you think maybe a little bit more, a little less, you know, I don't know. Alright, we'll do Iceman. Yeah, they're gonna cast a shadow, so you figure she's gonna be silver. So if you see her the way she is now, you'll sort of see, like, you know, how they stick out. Yeah, like I said, I'm just getting it. Like, I mean, already you can tell the upper half of her is not completely, you know, exactly like her, you know, outfit. So I'm kind of still doing my own little take on it. Yeah, so if you look at the picture here to the left, you can sort of see they pop out a lot. But if you look over here to the right, you can see some of those sort of pop, but they're, you know, so you can almost see, like, here, like you really don't see her stomach that much. But then again, don't forget, her anatomy and build is a little bit different than this one. So, you know, so I don't know. Like I said, I'm just asking away, seeing what people think. I'm pretty sure the guy that was interested in her in the beginning, he's pretty excited about the way it is. So, but like I said, if he ever backs out, I'll always post and let people know. But I think that's good for the eye. So, like I said, it's not 100% perfect, you know, detail, but I got the basic shape done for it. I'm not very good with, like, you know, the armor type of, like, stuff like that. Alright, Jacob. Alright, starting to see a little bit of stuff I got hit. I never thought anyone really cared for a character or an idea like this, but that would be a funny custom. Let's see. Yeah, once we get the hair on her, she'll look a little bit better. I like the way the chest came out now. That looks pretty good. I was worried that her boobs were going to be too spread apart, but I think it works pretty good for her. Yeah, I'm going to add the fabric seams later down the line. You know, what I'll probably do is add a seam coming down here, I think. And then probably another one like going down there. I got to do the stuff on the shoulders. But I think I want to... I was going to make the shoulders pop a little bit more, but I think they're fine the way they are. Only because the one picture I'm looking at, she looks like she has shoulder pads on, but then the other pictures looks like she doesn't. Yeah, nah, I'll leave the shoulders alone. I think that one picture I'm looking at, they put shoulder pads on her. I don't know why. Because the other ones doesn't look like she has it on. I wonder why they did that. That's weird looking. Yeah, but the more I look at some of them without the, she has, just looks kind of more like her shoulders. No seams? I thought she has seams on her legs. Actually, I don't see a picture that has seams. Yeah, I'm not seeing any seams down the leg, you're right. I'm not even seeing any seams on the shirt. All I'm seeing is these lines up here and the seam around there. But I think there is a seam over here though, because I know in the blue outfit with the gray there's a seam that comes up here. So I don't know. I gotta look up some more pictures on that one. Oh, okay. I got you. Alright, I think that's, I like the way the chest came out. I really do actually like the way it came out. I was worried about it. At first I thought I was going to have to Dremel it out, but the more I look at her outfit, it sort of just kind of comes flat on her chest, the way they designed it. So it just kind of like flattens down. But I like that. That looks pretty good. Raz, if you're in chat, if you come across any of the Star Trek symbols that go on her chest, let me know. If not, I'll get one. I wasn't sure if you know any free sites that might have one. We're going to have to print up a little tiny one for her. So keep that in mind in your travels. I like it. Hair is going to be a little tricky, but once the hair is on her, it should come together. But she does have wrinkles on her arms. I was like, what the hell is he saying? Is this coming to some kind of Star Trek crap? I was about to say, what did you say? Yeah, I'm looking at her symbol. It's got the triangle with the sort of the squares on the side, like you said, yeah. I'm pretty sure Raz could print out, like, you know, a couple different sizes that would fit. It doesn't need to be big, it just needs to be fairly small. Yeah, so I just need to let it cure, sand it down a bit, patch up some areas, and then add up the seams on the neck, and then start finishing up the base. Chair worked out fine. I did a little extra work this week on it while I had time to do some stuff. So what I did was I put a piece of metal in here, not a square one, a round one, but I sort of bent it. And then I got her butt in here. And then what happened was she wasn't lined up correctly. So you can kind of see there's a little bit of a different eaves around here. So I had to fill in this area and then sand it down. And then I had to fill up here, and I added this piece to here. So now she goes on there, and you can see she's pretty flush in there now. So it looks like she's sort of squeezing the chair around her butt a little bit. What I do need to do is sort of fill up the bottom of this leg, because this leg was set up for the skull. So I have to just fill a little bit of muscle underneath it here. I'll do that later, because I don't want to mess any of this up. And then I was just messing with the hand before. So the hand's going to go like this. I'm going to bend these two fingers with those pencil marks, and I'm going to put them down a little bit. And then what I'll do is I'll squeeze I gotta strum out a little bit more of the cushion, and I'll make it look like she's squeezing the cushion really a lot to push her around. So, but I have to bend the finger. So the idea, as we were talking before, is if it can work and I can do it correctly, I'll have the hand attached to the chair, and then you can put her into the base and connect her. But if there becomes an issue where, like, if I'm trying to line it up, what I'll do is I'll just glue it in at the end. What I'll do is I'll paint up the hand, and then I'll put a dab of glue in that key, and we'll just kind of put her down and glue it and have her attached to the thing. Now, on the other camera, I'll show you. I can't really mess with it too much, but so over here, this we line this up. So she's gonna go into this part here like this, and I have to set it up where this foot is touching this piece, but this foot is going to be hovering over here. It's not really going to touch it because I can't really, you know, I don't want to make a huge base. I just want to focus on the chair, and then basically I can have a console over here. So I just want to make sure I didn't screw this up at all. Yep, just making it lined up. So a little bit at a time, a little here, a little there, getting there. Well, see, the problem is, if I make everything separate, and if you put her in the wrong way, this was a common problem with this hand on the statue. A lot of people broke their fingers because of the way, you know, you put this in here. If you go the wrong way, you break a finger. So my idea is, like, I don't even care if she's attached at all the end, like everything's just glued together, because it's not really like anything you need to remove. So I'll see how it goes. I got to get the chair on the base first. Once the chair and the base and everything's connected, then I can start working out this hand and seeing how well it goes in and out and stuff. But yeah, getting there slowly. Hey, what's up, Jose? Yeah, thank you, man. She's getting there. Tweaking it out here and there. All right. So the Aves is toughening up a bit, so we're gonna work on Lola. But before I work on Lola, I'm going to show you what I finished up this week. Wash my hands real quick. Hold on. I just need Dave's to toughen up a little bit more. So I've come to the conclusion I have to retire my 2 airbrushes. I had to buy a whole bunch of parts for them, so I gotta decide it's time to get rid of those airbrushes and buy new ones. But I did finish this up. Well, I gotta touch up yet. So I didn't have a chance to do any commission work because the garage was a friggin' nightmare. With priming, so I said screw it, let me just paint this item up this week. So that's my Photon. It's kind of hard to see in the picture, probably in the camera. This is kind of it's not as bright, maybe it's kind of hard to see, so it's kind of a pearl, you know. I didn't really overthink the base. I kind of just like, you know, I didn't really think too much about it. I just kind of painted it up. So I wanted to try something different with this one. So I painted it up with Tamiya. It's kind of like a chrome mixed with the black. Oh, excuse me. And then what I did is I sat and varnished it, and it gave me this really cool looking like spacesuit. So I liked it. So I just gotta do some more touch-ups, but I kind of had this kind of turned out pretty cool. I'm not bad. I'm not too disappointed with it. So I'm gonna do a couple touch-ups, and I'm gonna throw her up on eBay next week. So she'll be up for grabs. But like I said, it's kind of hard to see it with my camera right now. Let me see. Do I have a? See what happens if I kind of cover the lighting a bit. Maybe you can see a little bit better. You can kind of see it's got pearls on there, and the star is pure white, so it sticks out a little bit more. But yeah, that's kind of my little quick Photon. That's kind of like a sort of a fast custom, I guess you can say. Just kind of like banged it out pretty fast, nothing too crazy or thought about it. Not a popular character, I would think, but still, what the hell. No, Jacob, just a side item. Just one of these many side items I do here and there. So the way it works is, whenever I do a side item, sort of like Photon, it's an item that I really don't put a lot of thought into, and it's stuff that I use extra A's. Because when I do a commission for somebody, I want to focus on that commission more than my side items. But like, say I just got done with that, the 7 of 9, and I have this extra material. So this material is still semi-soft, but it's not that soft. So if I have an item like her standing next to me, I can sort of do those lines around her outfit, so I don't waste the material. But I wouldn't want to take this harder A's and use it onto a commission for somebody next. I would like to mix the fresher stuff. So that's why I try to have these side items, just to kind of do them for fun and throw them up on eBay. Because I feel if I'm going to do a commission for someone, I don't want to use secondhand materials or materials that are hard to work with. So I try to have these side things I can kind of do stuff like that with. So it's always commissions first, then sort of side items to save on materials, and then whenever I get free time, or even if I have a personal custom I'm working on and I need a, say I have a personal custom that I'm doing for myself, and I need to have like thicker A's that's kind of like tough to wrap around something, I'll have that on standby as well. So yeah, no, I'm not a fan of Photon. I really don't know her actually that well, so, but I figured it would be something fun to do. Nope, just doing random side stuff. With the Dark Phoenix statues I got, because I got the 2 more of those, it's just something like, okay, I got them fairly cheap, let me see about a simple type character I can do on the side, not waste materials, and then throw it up on eBay. That's kind of like my thought process, you know? I mean, I'm gonna admit it. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I pick characters where the outfits and the design is a little bit easier to do. You know, because I figure if I can just sort of bang it out real quick, I got the item cheap or broken for free. get it done, put it up on eBay. That helps buy materials or better items to work on. So, you know, sometimes it's good to just do a simple character and get it out the door, where you're sometimes a more complex character, you know what I'm saying? So, but then again, it's also like what, you know, I like to do Miss Marvel in her Warbird outfit, you know, Linda Danvers, not Linda, Carol Danvers, only because I love that outfit and everybody else loves that outfit. And the other thing too is that Jean Grey pose, it doesn't fit a lot of characters I would like to try, you know? You can't sit there and do like Velma in that pose. It wouldn't really work too well. Okay, where am I with this? Oh no, I'm not going to use Jean for her. I'm going to have to find a different statue for that. That Jean Grey is more of like a flying type pose. So I got to find like, you know, characters that would work with a flying pose. For Uhura, it's more like you got to find more of a standing pose or a sexier pose or something. Alright, so now as far as Lola goes, I went ahead and I patched up the arm this week, sanded it down a bit, cleaned up some areas on her, still got a lot more cleaning to do and stuff. Let's see, what else did I do? That's pretty much it. So I got the bases all set up, so she goes in the base pretty well. Of course, we have to figure out what to do on here. So there was that one picture that was sent to me for the Bugs Bunny. The Bugs Bunny will probably work. Now the only problem is now that I put her on the base, I'm thinking, kind of thought process now is, what if we put the Bugs Bunny, Jacob, I think you were the one who sent it to me. What if we do a hole, like Bugs Bunny drilled a hole, like he's coming out of the floorboards, right? What if we put like a gym bag underneath her hand, underneath her, like she has like a gym bag that she's stepping on? I don't know, what do you guys think of something like that? Let's kind of brainstorm a little bit, so this way this will get a little bit tougher so we can wrap this around. while this is sort of toughening up, so what I'll do with this, this Aves is going to get really tough on me soon. So, and I have a little bit of a weight problem back here. So what I want to do is take some of this Aves. It's all going to turn into clouds anyway, but sort of. Alright, yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. So you see the bottom picture to the left? You know, this one over here. I thought about having her on a bench, but now that I realize this foot isn't high enough for a bench, there's something else that would have to be underneath it here. Well, you know what we could do is, if we were to do a second basketball, like a second one, why don't we do this? What if I did floorboards like she's on the court? Bugs Bunny is breaking through the things to look at her, but why don't we have a basketball here, and a basketball on her arm, so it looks like, you know, it's like a pre-game practice thing? I mean, you don't have to have just one basketball, you can have like 3 or 4. That's an idea too. So basically what it would be is if we fit the basketball perfectly here, then we print out another one. I put it underneath the foot, but I sort of, you know, put it like underneath her foot, and then have another one over here, and then have one here or something. So there's like, you know, a couple basketballs. So that's kind of another idea. I don't know anything else basketball that besides like a gym bag, a basketball, and what else, you know. I mean, the only other thing to be would be like a stack of towels, but why would she be stepping on towels? Unless it was more of a gym scene, like, I mean, a locker room scene. Hey, what's up, Wells? No, I'm not a sports guy. All I did was play football when I was younger. But other than that, I don't watch sports. So I don't really know what, you know, what would work and won't work. Now, the only problem with a deflated ball is that's kind of hard to sculpt. You know what I'm saying? The only way I think that we could do it is if Raz printed it out really thin and I was able to sort of heat melt it and sort of like put her foot on it to make it look like she's pressing it down, and then once it cools, fill it up with resin. That's the only way I think I could do that. Yeah, I was actually just looking outside now. It looks like we got some dark clouds coming in. I think we're probably going to get a storm tonight. It looks like it's coming, so... Now... Yeah, the only problem with that Iceman is I'd have to make it to the point where it would work with this foot. Now, is there any Looney Tunes stuff that we could have her standing on? So the idea, it's Lola Bunny, and then we have Bugs Bunny at the base with the tongue sticking out. But is there anything else with Looney Tunes that she could be stepping on that could work? And the movie Space Jam, because I guess that's where she's from, Space Jam, I haven't seen that movie since it came out back in, what, the early 90s, I think it was? So I don't know. You guys give me some ideas or feedback. Let me know. The monsters, if there's any kind of sculpts for it. Later, Wells. No, for the base Iceman, there's Bugs Bunny with his tongue sticking out. We're gonna use for whatchamacallit, to have him sort of sticking his tongue out like he's staring at her underneath. So that's we already got that part ready. What's up, Scott? You rent a modem from Xfinity? That's a waste, dude. You should just go to like Staples or Amazon and buy a good modem. Have it, just put it in yourself, have them connect it, and you'll have it for like 30-40 bucks. You can have a modem for like 5 years. I think I've had my modem for my cable for like probably 5 years now. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I mean, you'll save a lot of money. What is it, like $6 a month or something to rent a modem? When their modems are actually pure crap anyway. Alright, I will This one, Jacob just sent me this one. This could work. Hold on. You know, with that one, maybe we could print out the monster's head and I could put the monster's head under her foot, like he's kind of leaning this way. So we could, alright, that might work. What do you guys think of that? Alright, so what I just been doing, so this way you guys know, when I do my shirts, I like to make the shirt taunt. So what I'm thinking of doing is starting it this way. I'll put up these rods. I'll put them in her shoulder. Whichever one was the correct one. They're pretty much the same size. No, one's smaller. Alright, so basically what it is like I said, I'm going to put these, lock these into place. So this way when I put the shirt around here, I want it tight. You know, I don't want it just to sink into her shirt a little bit. And then this will help me sort of give it that look like it's going across her shirt tight instead of just sinking there. But I have to go in the garage and sort of chop that out. I'll do that, I'll have that ready by next week. So the idea now would be sort of get the strap across here. Let me wash out my brushes real quick. So do you guys, so the rest of you guys think the monster head would look good underneath her foot? Think maybe that would be a better? So you have the monster head here. And then you have here the Bugs Bunny breaking through the boards, you know, and he's got his tongue sticking up looking at her. Or instead of in the front, have Bugs looking upwards over here. So you see Bugs looking upwards with his tongue sticking out. You have the monster head next to him on the foot, and then just floorboards going across, you know? So you're saying no Bugs Bunny and just the monster head? So let me just kind of give the eaves a little bit longer to toughen up. Well, see, here's the problem. Alright, so if we don't do the monster head, what do we put under her foot if we put Bugs Bunny? A gym bag? I'll squeeze the basketball? You know what I'm saying? What do we do? So, I mean, if we put the monster head sort of here, you know? Just a monster head. It doesn't have to be huge. A little bit of eyes sticking out, you know, whatever. And then, you know, and then Bugs Bunny is sitting here. You know, he's kind of looking up at her. So the idea is Bugs Bunny's here looking up at her booty, and then her monster head's over here. Now, if there's no monster head here, say we do a basketball instead. Now, what if we don't put a basketball on her arm and just put a basketball on the base? So if the basketball is about basketball sort of goes in her hand that size, it would be like underneath her foot here, you know. Maybe that's supposed to be a little bit bigger. So you don't like the basketball on her arm? So you think maybe just a basketball underneath her foot? So basketball here. I guess the ball has to be a little bit bigger, right? So the basketball here and Bugs Bunny looking up at her there, and just a basic, wooden floor, and then that's it. I think that would probably be a better option. Alright, so if a basketball is in your hand and you put it, so in theory this basketball compared to her hand won't fit underneath her arm then, right? So we need to, unless it's a smaller basketball. So if this is kind of the size of a basketball to a hand, maybe actually basketball on her arm might not work. Unless it's like she's squeezing it really hard, because if this is... Well, see, so if this is probably the size of a basketball, what it should be, right? Is that too big? That's too big. Basketball is about the size of a head, right? Well, like I said, she's gotta step on something, you know, and it's not an easy thing depending on what we do. But the Bugs Bunny though, there sitting there with his tongue out should look pretty good. We should definitely put Bugs Bunny in there, you know. Now you said carrots, so say I had a stack of carrots underneath her foot. You know, something like a stack of carrots, and Bugs Bunny's there. So that could be a throwback to Bugs, you know. So you got the monster head for the bottom of her foot, a basketball, a stack of carrots, trying to think. I don't know. kind of a little bit of a stump. So let me ask, do you guys like the basketball underneath her arm, or do you not like the basketball underneath her arm? I guess that's the first thing. That's not a bad idea. So you're thinking maybe break up the base, like the wooden floor is all broken up and Bugs Bunny is sort of like in the rummaging and the wooden planks are kind of broken? What do you guys think of that? It's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Like he rummaged under her foot. I think that might work. So what we could do is, right? So, if you think about it. So what if we did, right? So like tunneled from like, we'll do this. How about this? Sort of go in this direction, right? And then, because I'm gonna use probably you know, I'm gonna cut up the lollipop sticks. I gotta get more. So when I do the flooring, we can sort of break up the flooring sort of like this, you know? Sort of goes like this, you know? And then Bugs is there on the base. Terrell, what do you mean a puff of smoke? Out of where? But I like the tunnel idea. Alright, so I think we got the tunnel idea good. So, it's a basketball court. Bugs Bunny is tunneling in this direction to look up at her to get a good view, and then I'll have to break. It'll be a little bit of tricky, but I think we can get it to work. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with the tunnel idea for a foot. Now, my question is though, do you guys still like the idea of a basketball underneath her arm because the silly putty is sagging? Yeah, if the smoke, it's kind of funny you said that. I actually had my friend Meta John print me out smoke for an item I'm working on. So I have a whole box of smoke bits for stuff. It's kind of funny, you know. You can, but they're like more like animated smoke, you know. Just kind of popped it and smoke's coming out. So, tunneling under her feet, and then the basketball in her arm. That could work. Alright, I think we got the plan. I think the plan is tunnel with bugs underneath her feet. I completely forgot about that. Never even thought of that. That's why I got you guys. Alright. So, what I need to do is I need to do some measurements on bugs. I gotta do some measurements on the basketball. And then I gotta have res printed out. So, I think we got a plan. Alright, yeah. Think that's gonna work. Alright. Just kind of brainstorming for a second, just trying to see. Now for the basketball, do you think I should have you printed thin so I can sort of, if I have to sort of squeeze it into her arm a little bit, that I could actually like melt it so it kind of goes in and then fill it in? I'm trying to think on how to do the basketball. Yeah, I'm not worried about printing it like next week. Like you have to get it to me in like a week. The base is the last thing to worry about anyway, so don't worry about rushing it. I gotta plan it out though. I'm sorry, you said trickier with the base? Oh, I gotta get my glasses on. Yeah, I thought you meant thicker. No, yeah, yeah, it could work. You know, I still got to do the sneakers, I got to do the top, we got to get the hair done, so we got a lot to do. Yeah, what I'll do is, you know, I got the popsicle sticks, and basically, what I'll do with the popsicle stick is cut them. I'll cut a whole bunch of them, and then it's a matter of gluing them down, but putting eighths or free-form air underneath here, and start like breaking them and making it look like it's kind of breaking up and dirt's going around it and stuff. So it'll work. It's just a matter of getting bugs here first, Dremel out like a hole, get them in there, and then start like working around it. I think the base is going to be a little bit complex, but we'll get it done. My concern is trying to get that basketball underneath her arm. That's the only issue about that. I mean, the only other thing I could think of for the basketball, I don't know if there's any hands that are holding a basketball. You could print out a hand holding a basketball and scale, and it looks like she's one palming it on this hand. Don't know is on TD Trader has any like hands holding a basketball. Not really. Well, actually, there is a female holding. It's pretty bad. No, it was just an idea, you know. All right, so here let's also toy with this idea. So Raz said that he's not a, you know, he doesn't like the idea of whatchamacallit, a basketball underneath her arm. What if, let's just brainstorm. What if we do Bugs Bunny at the base? He's traveling here. We put a basketball here, right? We put a basketball on the base. But what if I was to, I don't know if you would like this idea. What if we put a towel? Nah, that won't work. Forget it. I thought maybe like a hand towel or something, but yeah, I think if we get a basketball sorted this side, you know what I'll have to do is I'm gonna have to go get like a ping pong ball. And then what I'll do is I'll put a ping pong ball here, and then like Raz can like sort of like, if you got a ping pong ball or a golf ball or something on hand, then we can maybe get a better idea. Or I don't know, I'll have to, or something like, okay, this is the size of a Snapple bottle cap. So it would have to be exactly like the size of a Snapple bottle cap. That's pretty much perfect. Well, I guess if you're out and around, grab yourself a Snapple, and then the cap is the perfect size. Buy a Snapple and just add it to my bill. That's all. All right, I think we got sort of a plan going. So now we can start the shirt. Alright, so the idea is sort of get this like it's taunt, and then I'll fill this in with the little A's and kind of secure it a little more. But then she does have that blue strip underneath of her, so I'll add that later. It's kind of just a matter of adding a couple layers. It's just kind of a starting point. Yeah, it's my AC. I'm sorry if it's kind of loud, but it's so muggy out. I have to run it. I know it's annoying, but when I bought the house and installed it, I never thought about, oh, I'm gonna stream in a few years. I need to have a quieter thing. It's a really, I mean, it's a good AC. It cools the hell out of the room, but it's just annoying as hell. Even though it's set at 72, it just keeps going. Oh no, yeah, it's an AC. So it's a huge wall unit. It's annoying as hell though, it really is. I would love to replace it, but not in the cards for a while. The dream would be to get rid of that wall unit and put in one of those Fujitsu split units, you know? That's the dream. Also, a hard lesson learned was I should have got one that was a heater and an AC unit, you know? So this way in the winter time I could have just turned that on. But no, I just had to go with the AC unit to save a few bucks. Yeah, I'm thinking of getting one of those for the garage next year. Just so it's something I can just have sitting next to me when I'm, you know, when it's really hot out. Not something to really heat the whole, cool the whole garage. But then again, I'm thinking of maybe just cutting a hole in the damn side of the garage and put a wall unit there. Might be cheaper just to do that. Get a small wall unit, not like the huge one. Because this one right here is friggin', I mean, this thing is huge as hell. Hold on. This way you guys see what the hell I'm talking about. See, I got one of these units right there. And it cools the hell out of this room, but god damn, it is loud. And the bad thing about this big unit is when you turn it off, the heat sort of like comes in from it because it's so hot. Pain in the ass. Alright, but what I did is I made some lines here. They're not going to be perfect, they're just kind of like a starter line. So the idea is this is going to be taunt underneath. I need to sand it down again. I'm going to have to sand this down and kind of really fix it up a bit more. Especially the parts up here. This is all going to get sanded down and then this will get filled. But I'll add these pieces and sort of kind of create that stretchiness on top of there. So got a little bit of work to do, but we'll build it in sections. Okay, as long as you can hear me and the music, that's good, because I always kind of thought that maybe that noise was just so loud it was bothering everyone. But it's better than me sweating like crazy, not being able to get stuff done, you know? Yeah, but then it's kind of funny then, once the winter comes, the baseboard heat kind of like makes noise, but it's not bad. But then I get static electricity like crazy, and that's why the cameras are always flickering and going to black screen, because if I touch the wire, it flickers. So it's like spring and fall when I'm not having anything on, it's fine. But the summer and the winter, it's a pain in the ass. But so that's a good starting point for that. I'm gonna have to put her on the base so it doesn't sink down. A little bit of cleaning up to do. Seasons are just a pain in the ass. They really are. Like, I would love to have spring for like more than just like 2 weeks, but we get like right when the winter ends, we get like good 2 weeks of spring, and then we go right into summer. And then we don't really have that. We have about maybe like maybe about a month of fall, but usually the month is sort of like raining all the time. So. But as you can see how this is looking. So once what happens is when I put all this A's over here, it filled it in again, but I'm going to sand all that down. I'm going to fill in there with some extra A's to lock this stuff in. This is going to have to get Dremeled out a little bit. But it's a good starting point for all this. Should probably pull this back a little bit. Alright, So I think that's what we're gonna call it for today. We got a good plan. I'm glad we kind of brainstormed on this one. I was kind of confused on the base, but we got a good start. I'm gonna keep plugging away on her outfit. Well, then we'll work on the hair, and then when I get a chance, I'll get some stuff out to Raz. Get that stuff printed out, and then we'll work on the base at the end. But yeah, appreciate the feedback. Glad you guys chimed in on that one. So yeah, have a good weekend. See you guys next week sometime, and we'll see if we go keep plugging away on these.